Labas Ritas. Good morning, everybody. We are back, and I want to give out a big, huge thank you to everyone on the Discord who helped us tackle our earnings issue. Let's do a review of all the amazing changes that occurred. It'd be a good time for a ride on. New Orleans is booming. We have spots and various times where, that's enough for another vehicle on which lines there have a backup. Let's see, line 2 and line 3. Let's throw another vehicle on line 2 and line 3 while we're here. Let's see. Line 2, she's got 8. Give us 9. Line 3 has 10. Give us 11. Oh, big backup down here. I think this is the bus stop with, we added bus route number 4. That's an express run but that's going the opposite way into town. We need a couple more buses on number 3 again. Where's line 3 at? Manage vehicles. 1, 2, 3. Let's take her to 15. Alright. Now then. What do we got over here? We've got 63 people waiting and we're overfilling the station. Where do they want to go? They want to go to the train station. We could take line 4 as a train station express. That's a good question. Are we taking train 4 as an express? Or are we just going to let 3 get them? You know what? Let's let it percolate a little bit. It might settle down. It might not. And again, we're running... oh, that's a food delivery. Let's get a bus vehicle. Tram 7. Yeah, she's running 7 people. We've got a good bit of space on there. So we completed our passenger station. Let's see how it's looking. It is busy. We've got 84 people waiting for a Gulf Cities Explorer line, which now has 4 trains on it. The Gulf Breeze, Gulf Dawn, Gulf Flyer, and the Gulf Wind. We are really packing the people on this run. Okay. Interesting. Are we actually hitting... Let me check one setting issue just to make sure while we watch this train. Matter of fact, we'll ride it out of here. And a pure goober move yet again. Let's fix this. Hey, look at that. The actual game that we're here to play. I know. Who thought? Who would have thought? Apparently not me. Alright, let's get back. We'll hop off of this for a second.
Uber move yet again.
Yep. Okay. Back down here to the river. We've got people waiting for the ferries, but of course still no one wants to take the long runs on the ferries upriver or down. There's that bus station we were just talking about. And it's gotten a little worse. We've got 46, 48. See, if 6 buses just show up, it'll empty that station out. And the risk of throwing more buses on these routes is, we've got good catchment, Well, as soon as this expands, we're going to need another zone of bus delivery out here. You know, we might wind up, as much as this is stretching out, we might wind up with a east-west and a north-south sort of route arrangement. Well, that's something to look at. But where is that shuttle? There she is. She is backing up. She hits the Y here. And now she pulls forward out of New Orleans. Yep, and there's a freight train backing up on the other side. The only bad part about this is this delay. And she's got 99 people on board. She's loaded. Well, we'll take a ride with the passenger train first, and then we'll see how the freight trains make it in and out of the city. We'll follow one back in, and then let it take us back out. The passenger service is going to all the major. That needs to be a bridge. That's enough of a dent in the ground. Look at that backlog of traffic there. So we moved the rail depot. Well, we didn't move it. We destroyed the old one, and we put the new one over here next to the station for freight and cargo, just to make it a more interesting looking area. And we've got the central track going in and out. That's the inbound from Biloxi, and there's the outbound to, again, Biloxi, White Kitchen, and who is up there on the hill? White Kitchen. Oh, Baton Rouge. That's right. 21. Kick it on up. 20. You're going to hit the signal. 19. How are you going to be by the time you get to the bridge? We had to make a lot of concessions in here for the freight service. As you can see, not only did New Orleans grow, but a lot of things had to change to bring in the freight line, including this cool looking bridge. So we could get the freight trains and the passenger service not conflicting with each other. Look at that, 23 already. We're doing good. Come on, pick it up. Throw some more logs on there. So now the passenger service on the Gulf Coast Cities line it's pretty much the same. This segment comes out of New Orleans, struggles a little bit to get up that hill. And then we've got Gulfport. And how is she doing? She's almost hitting 300. We've got a good number of people waiting. Mississippi City. Oh, wow. That is a big jump. I didn't realize she was growing that much. Well, here's the thing. Gulfport is demanding goods and fuel, and we don't have any of that. We have it nowhere. So this amount of food is giving a 60% growth bonus, which is not happening. Let's see, 70 and 30. She's getting a total bonus of 50. Down here it's 100. So we're still taking a big hit on pollution, but as far as admissions are concerned, the only admissions that I've tweaked the numbers on is the trams in the major cities, and that's to help them grow. Otherwise, our numbers are still too thin for us to be, setting everybody else to 25% good and the trams to very good at 50%. It would be wonderful if we could put that extra 10, 20% growth in the major cities, or, take away that 60% dent that's affecting our numbers. But we can't afford it. We just flat out cannot afford it. It's way too early in the game, and we're not making enough money. Okay, so now all the stations, as you know, are set up for local and bypass. She's leaving 99 out of 99. We could put more cars. We could put more passenger cars on here. We do not have the engines with enough power to get up and down the hill. And if those engines can't make it up and down the hill, What I mean, they can make it down the hill. That's though they can definitely make it down the hill. I mean, we could throw a tunnel to try and get up and around the hill, but our goal is to be tunnel adverse, and all tunnels, like most track in this game, is supposed to be single track, not double track. Let me get rid of that while we're looking at that and wondering how we missed it. As we cruise through the pond. Oh, look, we've got growth over here on this side of the river. Wait, are we going the wrong way? Oh, yeah, we grabbed the wrong train. Back up here. Where did our train go? How did we get a train going backwards? How did we lose a train? We didn't hit delete and delete a train, do we? No, there's still 4 trains on the line. Okay, Mississippi City. She's got to be up here somewhere. There she is. That's our train. Okay. Pascagoula. 323, doing good. The stop itself. Oh wow, that's. Let's see. They want to go down, including New Orleans. I mean, again, it would be nice if they would just walk to the other platform. But for some reason they do not. They want to get on the local. Apparently, they want to go to New Orleans, but they don't want to get there too fast. I mean, it is the Big Easy. All right, who we got here? We got the Gulf Flyer, almost full, and the Gulf Breeze heading out. This music is cool for a train ride, but it doesn't match the locale. Okay, this is Pensacola. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but apparently it's written over here too. I did not know that. Okay, Pensacola. We got a little bit of a crowd. We got some people waiting to leave the station. And the city itself. Ooh, about to hit 300. Good. Now, we'll have to talk about this station. Yeah, what is this? Oh, that's the cargo line. Sorry, that's the cargo. Okay, Tallahassee Bridge. We really should come in with the... Technically, it's the Tallahassee Aqueduct. We really should come in... If we're going to call it a bridge, we should come with some water. Alright. Last stop on the line before we loop back. Tallahassee. How's she doing? Tallahassee has 183. She's the worst of the whole bunch. People in Tallahassee, we have a small amount. Nothing huge, but, And we're leaving here with 42. We know we didn't pick them up here. We picked them up in Pascagoula and Pensacola, who wanted to go back further down the line, and they're taking a ride with us. I mean, the problem with that is if we had enough people in Tallahassee. But the Tallahassee Flyer is running. Is it the Tallahassee Flyer? That was the Sunshine Express. She's got 23 people on her. And how about our Express over here? The Pensacola Limited. She's got 44. Yeah, how much does she have on the platform? Oh, wait, she's coming back. She's coming back here. And on the platform is 32. So, I mean, she'll empty the platform. Now, this is freight. I mean, we are moving people here. It's 1870. We're using 1850 equipment. and the Russian GV. I mean, that's our slightly upgrade. I mean, it is definitely an upgrade over the first 1850 locomotive, but we are in we are solidly in the 19th century, and all of our rules on top of the game's running on hard mode, and all of our other rules on top of it, like single track. I mean, unless you really need it, single track, and then if you need something more, put in a siding. And then after that, if you're making enough money, then talk about double track, but your request will be denied. You can get double track maybe later if you really need it. It's just not the norm. The other thing we're doing is we want to prevent any failure, which, well, it's not really failure, it's just we build so big. And then, like, we got to 60,000 people, all with freight and a little bit of passenger. And the freight just became mind numbing. Or the passenger service was a little bit mind numbing. So actually, at 60,000, we started crashing. It was when we restarted and built up to 72,000 people, doing mostly all passenger service, passenger ferries, passenger planes, trains, that when it came time to start doing the freight work, we had this huge passenger network everywhere, along with a road network for highways connecting every city. And it was a little daunting. You start doing the math of 70 cities, 6 types of connections each. That's a lot of truck routes. It's the lines. It was too much. So one of the things when I started this series was, let's make sure that we give ourselves a chance. Where is the Pensacola Limited? She's coming up here. Okay, she should be here in a minute. We give ourselves a chance that we run cargo and freight everywhere. Even if we can't hook it up to the main line system, at least there's some local representation. There we go. So 44 people came out of New Orleans. And she's taken 42 people back. I mean, what more could we ask? Perfect. All right. Now, we added these other passenger service lines. All right, what's going on in here? Well, we've got a lot of people wanting to go various places. New Orleans, but here we go. Pascagoula, Mobile, the Alabama Limited. Where is she? She's got 65 people on her. And she's heading to Pascagoula. She's heading to where is she? Mobile. Oh, she's up on the top of the mountain, the top of the hill. Let's take a ride down with her. Enjoy the view. How is Mobile doing? Mobile is 222. I feel like she's been that for a while. Bus stops, how are they doing? College Street, 4 and 8. 2. Seems like Route 1 has a lot of work. We'll throw an extra vehicle in there. Give me 2 more. Alright, let's enjoy the trip down. We need to get a railing on here. But there's our view of the Gulf Coast. As we head down. Obviously, we make it we get back up a little bit slower. All right, we're heading into go underneath the passenger line or freight line. Now we're heading into Pascagoula. 65 out of 77, bringing down a good number of people. All of these cities are just incrementally growing a little bit by bit, and it is adding up. We are feeding New Orleans. New Orleans is growing. I mean, look at that station. You know, you really shouldn't run a passenger line in 1850. It's too hard. They don't work. Oh wow. All right. 72 people heading back up. This is going to be, and we haven't even gone over there to that's Biloxi. I mean, we can see that track from here. That's another one we got a little bit of mountain climbing. Kick the speed up a notch till we get to the hill, because we're really interested in the climb. Want to know how we do it. There we go, underneath the cargo bridge. We're doing 54. Yeah, we shouldn't slow down back there. A little bit of a line polishing needed. 7 trains. I'm sorry, 7 trains. 7 passenger cars. I mean, we're pulling a load. And she is making it here, the Alabama Limited. She is doing fine. Now, here's where it starts to get like we should have flattened it out a little bit, maybe. Just to give her a breather. Get the rest of the wagons up here. Or wagons. Please get your terms right. There's only 2. Get your passenger cars right. Also, as I'm sure you may have noticed, but as part of our cost savings to try and make things work, we have had to alter the every train gets a caboose until 1980, except for the passenger trains that are double-ended. We've had to remove. Oh, look at it, they're gone. We had to remove the cabooses from the passenger trains. First off, as everyone knows, passenger trains at this era did have a caboose if they were a mixed-use train, which a lot of trains were. The passenger cars are heavy, and they have plenty of room for a crew to stick their head out and see traffic, or see the bend in a road, or watch the performance of the train or the safety of the train. What the freight trains don't have is a place for that. And passenger cars, you pick up tickets. You need the caboose because that's where you're working on manifests, paperwork, shuffling mail, whatever it is that you're doing. And it's just part of what has to happen back here. You're working. Well, that's what we're up to. And this game does not support mixed-use trains. So, I mean, we could. We just have to make 2 stops. But, we're still trying to run. We're not playing a train game. We're here to play a transport game. And we're here to in this case, we're here to transport 77 passengers up the hill and 54 back down. So we're going to jump off from here and head over to Biloxi. Let's see how she's doing. Biloxi. 170. Not bad. I mean, she's up here all by herself. The only thing she's getting is this train with 30 people waiting, the Old Miss line. Right, let's find the Old Miss. There she is. Where is this tunnel? Is this the tunnel coming out of New Orleans? Might be. That is... Oh, yeah, that is. That's the tunnel coming... So she just came out of New Orleans. We can see some passenger train off there in the distance. We know it's an express because she's yellow, not green. Okay, we got to go to the right to get to Biloxi and to White Kitchen. And we head off to the left. Oh, there's the... that's the White Kitchen line. Let's see how she's doing. Well, click on the right train, sir. There she is. 46 out of 55 heading back to New Orleans. So we know she didn't leave anybody on the platform. Yeah, man. See, I would... if I could set the number... But, I mean, it's at a half hour. and unfortunately it's speed adjusted and it burns me for all the time we set up. So here we go. We are on the Old Miss to Biloxi, and we are heading up the hill. It's interesting that we're not getting up to 50 or 55. One too many curves? I don't know. Well, 49 as we look out across the valley of everything we've been working on. 36. Oh, like this one just, I wonder if I made this too steep. You know, can we stretch this out just a little bit to slow down the angle? Give ourselves, you know, something. But this gets brutal. The other one's got seven passenger cars on it, and we can tell which one I built first. I built this one, and apparently I learned from the others. And I really want to come back here and want to get some guardrail assets, or take that out and put in a bridge with a guardrail. It is neat looking, but this is not an Alpine map game, you know. See, this slope here is so gentle, but she's already lost a head of steam and she's not gaining any. And this dirty train is heading into New Orleans. I mean, it's not helping us for growth numbers. We definitely should be doing something. I got a 19 little bump there. Come on. Man, how much more is town? Oh, look, little bridge. Make it look interesting. Well, technically, it's an aqueduct again. All right, and then into town. Let's see, we're dropping off. Yeah, we're dropping off 57, and we're picking up 54. I mean, not enough to lose a car, but better than leaving people on the station. There you go, 490, almost a half mil. And she's going back to go make another half mil. I mean, the Old Miss line, we're going to call that a success. Okay. Down at the bottom is White Kitchen. What has she got? She's got 55, 56 heading into town. Are any of these connections? They are all New Orleans. So not even any transfers. Our mandatory, every town has a road depot because we've built no roads anywhere. Yeah, there's the White Kitchen coming back up. With another 55, she's a full train. Did she leave people back in New Orleans? Where's the station? Here it is. The White Kitchen. Oh wow, she left 34 people back there. Let's move her back up to 77 passengers. White Kitchen liner. The Plaid Kitchen. Manage the vehicle. Give us passengers in that sunshine yellow. 77. I mean, I'm not going to back her up for 7 people. And it's not her first time on the line, so she'll balance out. All right, now, same thing. We come up. Who's this? That's the Baton Rouge Express. All right, she's coming in with 52. She heads into town to go to the New Orleans train station. And as you can see, she's going in engine first. And that's one of the Gulf State locals coming out backwards. Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. $293,000. Not our most profitable line, but now she's backing out. Now, if we had had more room, we could have done a loop. I mean, if we moved the station from here to here, we could just do a simple loop and pull right back out. But hey, where's the fun in that? Of course, now that I think about it, that's probably a lot smarter thing to do. How hard would it be to move this station? We could, but then she wouldn't be right next to the bus stop. We could move the bus. We could actually get a new bus stop with the new station. Like in the 1900s when the design of the stations changed. Because right now, yeah, we could put it right here. It's weird that people didn't think of that as New Orleans was growing. But, and then we could pull the passenger service out of there and just have it. How big could it loop? Is there enough room here for a loop? Give me some tracks. A loop here would come around. I mean, we would lose a number of buildings. I mean, they would grow in around it, or they would fill in down here. I mean, it'd be tempting. There's a good argument for it. The passenger service comes in. We put all the trains right here. The bridge goes over the terminal, over the station. A much more station Le Grand. It's something to consider. But let's see. That's the White Kitchen. Here's Old Miss. Did I talk over the Baton Rouge train leaving? I did. There she goes. I talked all over it, and she sailed out right around me. Now, if we get rid of the backup thing, oh wait, hold on a second. Anterior web person, hello. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for stopping in to check out the stream. DJ CJ, this is a scratch-built map. The map is based upon, just to give you a quick 2-second look at it, the map is based upon the Mississippi River. So the river flows all the way from New Orleans, Natchez, Vicksburg, Memphis, all the way up to St. Louis. She makes a bend and heads across past Davenport, Rock Island, Moline, and then makes her turn to head up to where the river ends in Minnesota and in Minneapolis. The map has also been, the way the map was created is I got all the USGS data, played with it many times, and the biggest problem with that is you need the river to be big. So when you're trying to scale the river as a big thing, you wind up with things like this that are just not part of the Mississippi River. It's just in terms of game scale and height, you have to work with it. Same thing with trees. There's almost 3 million trees on the map. So the game's random is what gives you the trees. The other thing that's happened is where it presented a challenge, I've left it. So as an example, New Orleans, if you go to New Orleans, there's parts of it that are actually below sea level. So it's inside of a flat area, and to get out of it, there's a bit of a hill climb. And parts of it again they're over exaggerated for game scale, or they're a challenge, and the challenge being exaggerated just makes it interesting. The other things that occurred is if you go to New Orleans and you head east, you could find yourself in Gulfport, Mississippi City, Pascagoula in order, cross over the border into Florida, and you could be in Pensacola and Tallahassee. Um, yeah, this is not meant to be accurate. It's meant to be representationally accurate. I like to call it. It's not role playing. It's realistic playing. So, the idea that I'm in New Orleans and I want to go up to Baton Rouge. You're going to head north. Now, you might head over a lake. You might take a certain very large, well-known, or very long, well-known bridge. Um, that's not here because in Transport Fever's game scales, it just wouldn't work. And but you still go north. And the other challenges are things like the distance, because again, you're sitting. Let's put us down here. Here we are down in New Orleans. You've got to get up to this first ledge, and then you've got to get up here across this path to get up to Baton Rouge. It's I've if you pull out actual height maps, depending upon how you scale them, that's what I got. I used several maps and stitched them together in various areas. By the way, while we're up here, let's see how Baton Rouge is doing. She's going back with 62, and we've got 181 people up here. How are the buses doing? 25. Yeah, we got to put a couple more buses up here. Give us, how many we got? We got 5. Let's take it to 8. Clone? Clone. There it is. Okay. So now, the other thing that's been done, though, is when you want to, heavy metals, you're going up to Minnesota. And that's where all the iron is. So anything to be done with iron requires you to pull it out of Minnesota. You can pull it out by train, truck, or as we're doing here, we're trying to pull everything as much as we can down the river. The bridge, the first bridge across the Mississippi, because there are no bridges across the Mississippi in this game when it starts. This is the first bridge across the Mississippi. That's all it did. It connected right before the Mississippi froze at the falls. And it's like, well, what's the name of the bridge? It's the Father Lewis Hennepin Bridge. We added this here, and you can see it's part of the whole Minneapolis St. Paul traffic. And it's messed up. But I mean, I can we make this a 4-lane bridge? Not now. At this time of era, there was no bridge here. The next bridge that we're waiting to put in is actually the first rail bridge. And the first rail bridge connected the two railroads between Illinois and over here to on the west side of the Mississippi to Davenport. So the train station's here in Davenport, and the train station is over here in Rock Island and Moline. But we have never accumulated the $70 million it takes to span the river. So, and then to build the trains. So we're looking at about $75 million just to get this one rail bridge going. And it will stay as a single lane rail bridge until later on we get a few other bridges to cross the Mississippi. So we are not, we're not being hinky or we're trying to follow the same progression. Because again, where's the fun if in 1910 you got a 4-lane rail bridge where none existed? You might as well not have the river on the map. So we're trying to stick to that. The other thing, as you can see, is all the oil's down here in the Gulf, which is where it is in the United States. It's down in the Gulf. So the other thing is there is oil around the Mississippi River because it's an ancient river, and the difference is predominantly one side has oil, and hey, guess what the other side has? Coal. So there's our coal. The we're up here in Ohio. The different rivers are on the map. Here's Cincinnati, bridge going to nowhere because nothing has built there yet. And Cincinnati, let's see, 144 and 140. She's collapsed again. She was up over 1,000 people, but because she's not connected to or talking to any other cities, she's not sustaining her growth. So she's just collapsing back down. And for anybody who's been to Chicago, Gary, big manufacturing facility, that's where the steel mills are. So anything that needs steel is going to have to pull out of there. This time, the 1860s was also the Civil War. The big steel mills in the United States for the South were, way over here in Richmond. The map ends, so there's a steel mill outside of Fort Wayne. All the towns, the game's auto generator, I let it put in a ton of, once I was done with the map, I let it put in a ton of cities. Excuse me, I gotta grab a drink. So after all the cities were randomly placed, I went around and started just deleting them so that, we could have New Orleans, we could have White Kitchen, we could have, Gulfport, Mississippi City. Well, there's an opportunity for you. The the other thing is, like the Gulf Coast for Florida. Tallahassee to Pensacola, they are east and west of each other. You know, if you're driving across I-10 from Jacksonville to go west, you fly past Tallahassee and Pensacola pretty quickly today. So they're but like I went down here and I changed this little stretch to make sure that they didn't fully blend in together because it's not the Tallahassee Twin Cities. It's trying to keep them a little bit separate. So I didn't pick where Pascagoula is. I let the game just give me random cities and I started deleting them to and then as I was deleting them, I sat here with the map trying to figure out, well, who is that? So this was supposed to be New Orleans. Yeah, it's a quick run. The bridge is beautiful. Did you drive for work or for fun? So I did not know this was going to be Gulfport or Mississippi City. It's just, I sat here and I was looking at the map and I was going, well, who's there? And then filled it in. Like, obviously, you knew this was going to be Baton Rouge somewhere. But if you go north from Baton Rouge, eventually, no, it's mine. I made it from scratch. It's a scratch build. You come up. Natchez is on the river, and it is, positioned between New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Vicksburg. So, if you pull out a ruler and go, well, how far apart are these two people? I'm going to go, why are you measuring this? Yeah, we lived in Orlando and in Weston, right at the end of Alligator Alley. Eventually, I'll get it upgraded. I haven't done it. I don't really. Didn't have any plans other than just to have fun with the series, so I hadn't uploaded anything. And that's sort of I guess you know, the problem, with just throwing this up on the network, on the workshop, is because somebody's going to look at this and immediately want to slam it because, Memphis is not this high. It's like, okay, that's cool, whatever. Or Memphis isn't this close to the water, it's back a kilometer. Well, no, it's actually on the water. It's on the waterfront. Is it really? I don't know. I forget, you know, but it's near and it's an approximate. And again, it's a game, you know. So, but I will tell you that if you're in Memphis and you want to go to Evansville, you are going north. And, then you wind up with like Brownsville feeding, Huntsville and then up to Nashville. It's just, yeah, yeah, it's the same thing with Huntsville. Huntsville, Alabama is a huge place. But if you're in Huntsville and you go, you're going to hit Brownsville or you're going to hit, well, Birmingham, Montgomery, they're a little further over to the west because that's where the law school is at the University of Alabama. There are people that critical of stuff on the work because again, they don't ever create anything. The map that I have for Lithuania, both in Transport Fever and in Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, there are people that complained about the height of the shoreline. And I was like, there's got to be a shoreline, and Lithuania is predominantly flat. Do you want me to give you a pure flat map? Where's the fun in that? There's no fun, there's no challenge. So I think that's the beauty of the artistic work. It is a little bit of a trip to go from, New Orleans to Opelousas by ferry. And all right, let's see. Opelousas. Where did we go here? Yeah, you know, 47 out of 70 people. That ferry needs to run because it's a Mississippi map. And if it's not here, what makes it a Mississippi map if you don't have ferry boats running? The problem is no one wants to take these big long runs. Well, I mean that's yeah. I just haven't done it. I don't know. Like I said, there was no. Here's the Captain Charles. She's on the New Orleans Memphis River line. She has never had a single passenger on board ever, because no one wants to take that long of a trip up the river. There's just not enough demand. That no one has made that their destination, and it presents its own challenges. So I mean, I'm enjoying it. I think it's quite a bit. Playing on the huge map. There's other rules that I've given myself in terms of the gameplay, such as all the train. I'm using the mod so that all the trains cannot flip. I don't like playing with space magic. So without space magic, the trains that come in here to Brownsville, we've got a good mix of passengers sitting here in 1870. They're not packed. It's not a 1970 station with 1,000 people sitting in it. But when these trains show up, they have to come in, pick up, drop off, and well, drop off and pick up, and then they pull out, and then they go on their way. And I'm playing on hard mode. All of this is from here to back here is wasted track. Yeah, and I know the map you're talking about. It's just when you actually look at the workshop, there's a ton of stuff there. But when you narrow it down to the one thing you're looking for, there's not a lot. And like for me to post this, I'd have to post this with an intro video that said, here's the disclaimers, you know, just for my own comfort of it. But from here and how we're playing the series, all of this track across this whole path, this teardrop is excessive. It's cost money. It costs to build it, cost maintenance, and it's costing time when the train is running. So, the train that comes up here is taking an extra, especially in this speed, it's taking an extra 30 seconds or so to do its loop. And when it gets, all the way down here, that's a brick train going back. We need that, find a passenger train, heading out across the Huntsville Lake, and then going up to Memphis. Yeah, this is just, who is this? Okay, this construction materials heading it back down to the cement factory. 203. That is crazy in 1870 to have a train that's pulling 203. But, I mean, it works. It just requires a lot of careful track planning, taking the time to, keep things level. She's doing 25. She hits that little bit of a hip right there. Look at it, now we're in 21. I mean, she is just, 17. The people in the back here, they should just get out and push. It's just so. 12. Are we even moving? But we are pulling 203. So, I mean, that's, take your trade-off. Do you want to have to deal with a little, and we're already picking up speed. She is going to make it out of here. And then she's, again, smooth the rest of the way. I have brought this down a little bit, but, I'm sure I could do a better job. But there is still a hill here. It's, that is a huge challenge, especially back here. Throw a 1980s diesel on here, and that's a no-brainer. To pull 203 would be, nothing. But we're doing it, all the way back here. I still haven't seen that passenger train. But, here's the loop up here in Nashville. She's coming around. She's doing this little bit of a loop. We're losing a bunch of time. Adds to our costs, reduces our revenue. But the trains don't flip. And I think that's a worthwhile struggle to have. That the trains can't flip. Where is this train? It says she's heading to Nashville. Oh, she's passing the. That's probably. Where is this? Is this going to Huntsville? Yeah, that's going to Huntsville. It's a 140 going to Huntsville. But you can see, single track. So the major stretches in between the cities is single track. You might see two track, but one is passenger and one is freight. And, except for a few crossings that I've had to do, which, I mean, I'm just waiting for the money to fix them, with a crossover or a flying bridge. This should not happen. That right there should not happen. The reality is I don't have the money, I don't have the money to do it. We can only build, and again, once the cost goes up, this thing has to get up over that bridge. So we're going to take a hit on maintenance. We'll take a hit on time. It's just a matter of, I wonder why we blew our horn there. Interesting. But Huntsville Lake, and this thing eventually will, oh, actually this is not a dead-headed train. It's semi-dead-headed. She pulls up here from the cement factory. That's the one back here. That's Huntsville. Sorry, getting confused. Let's change the window. Yeah, 39 out of 44. That 204 that pulled out of here, when she leaves, does her delivery to Nashville. Yeah, here's another one, because there's two of them up here. This one's a 210. She is not going to go directly back. She's going to make a stop at the forest, pick up a delivery, and loop around the Nashville sawmill just to grab more material. Man, that autosave is back again. Just gotta turn that off. You know, there you go. She's heading to the forest to do a pickup. Oh, wait, that's the log train. That is not even the right train. The two of them pick up over here at the forest. Yeah, the Conmat's train picks up logs just so that she can drop it off at the forest as a short hop to put some revenue on her line going back. And you can see we got a big loop here. You know, everywhere you look, there's going to be a loop. Or it's a straight through that goes somewhere else. It's you know, the extra challenge. I do appreciate the questions though and the chat. Thank you. Some stuff gets ugly, you know, like this. On the other hand, it's busy. You know, let's check the cement factory here. She's slammed. You know, and you know, here's a Nashville 140 waiting to pull out of here. Going to Memphis without a full load. You know. But it's interesting looking. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Yeah, this one, see, coming back in. This is our limit. You know, these hills and these valleys, because the goal is, you know, we got a tunnel here. It's a choke point. One passenger line, one freight line. You know, we're not. Who is up here? All right, this is Bricks going to Dyersburg. Yeah, red dye number 2. So she's going to Dyersburg at 14. It's just, I mean, you can't speed this game up to make this. Yeah, I think it's just, you know, it's like any other sandbox game. You know, you gotta make it fun and interesting for yourself, and then, you know, that's the joy of it. I mean, I'm looking at this right here. There's an easy fix for this, which I would never do. And the easy fix is, well, just speed up the clock and grab yourself some new diesels, or, you know, an early diesel, or, you know, grab yourself a big boy so that you can spend a lot of money and lose it. You know, and there you go. We got somebody waiting for this one to get out of the tunnel. You know, that one came up from, she probably came from Memphis. Let's see. Yeah, she came from Memphis. It's just, that's a train. You know, trains don't always fly past one another. You know, your tracks aren't always pretty, you know, 8 abreast. They've got obstacles to carry through. As the passenger service flies by doing 55. But on the right-hand side there, that bridge and the other bridge, that is the return line for this freight service. Just so it can clear and get back down to the level grade. You know, for far less money, just as an example, we could have just popped through here. But then it would be a tunnel. Like, where's the fun in that? You know? It's... and that actually, now that I say it, so this is all we're getting paid for. You know, we're not getting paid for this big chugging line trying to get up here. And the same thing. Here's another one trying to get up that tunnel at 15, 16. I think that's the things that make this map, interesting. The harder part when, the diesels come in is going to be the challenge of all goods to every city. And I mean, on the last playthrough, I got all goods to every city once. I did not get all goods to every city sustained because that's just brutal. And it's a you know tag, here's your one box of food. Tag, here's your one barrel of fuel. Is vastly different from Huntsville keeps screaming that she's upgraded, and this is our first upgrade. She's got 3 demands, and she keeps screaming, and all she wants is, you know, 6 loads of fuel. Should be a piece of cake. You know, in 2010, you put that on an articulated Peterbilt pulling a wagon or pulling a truck with 40 loads of fuel. She's going to get here at 100 kilometers an hour on a highway. The problem then becomes where, there's a fuel refinery up north. How are you going to get here? And then, the other logistical issues of the city growing, because those demands are just going to keep, I love the 6, transport fever versus 2. It's a shame that we had to wait all this time to get, all goods every city. But I like the way they implemented it where, as the city grows, you pick up your demands. But again, thank you very much for the question. I appreciate it. Where are we at on time? We're at an hour. Let's see. We got to find the next thing to work on. Oh, we never covered the freight train lines. Okay, so here's what we ended up doing with the freight trains. We started out with a freight train service over here in the 9th Ward so that we could put the dock along here. It just became too hinky. And then it got moved over here next to the passenger service. So now here's our freight station over here by the Cafe du Monde, which still has plenty of room to grow. And that's a freight train leaving and one coming in. Let's grab that one coming in. Small corkscrew. But that was a flat on that curve. Again, there's definitely places where there could be little. It's great to hear those wheels squeal as that thing comes around those curves. But we are coming in with 140 on crops. And now, come on, we're backing out. It's just, we'll show you that one next. I am not a fan of putting 2 engines on a train. We've had to, because as bad as this slope is for the freight, the food coming out of the Cafe du Monde, she's full. And it is a struggle for her to get back up and out of here. I mean, you can just feel it. So, no, their default is they're going to flip. And they would just drive out of here. By disabling the flip, you find yourself with trains driving backwards. And now because they're driving backwards, they need a way to turn around. And the way that's done is, a switching yard. I mean, in the real world, you would just disconnect the engine, go down a siding track, come back to the other side of the other side of the train, hook back up, and pull it out. You know, instead, there's two engines backing up, which is why the caboose historically was on the train also. You know, but now we're trying to get out of here. We've got empties. She's going to pull out of here. There you go, 32. And this cargo traffic is busy in here. Yeah. This is a busy station. Right now there's currently 14 trains that are coming in and out of New Orleans here. Okay, now the Cafe du Monde train, you can see we got to 18, and now we're pulling out of here. That's another freight train. The Cafe du Monde is starting her climb up. No, this is I'm sorry, wrong one. Here we go, Cafe du Monde. Yeah, we're starting to climb up. The only reason we're getting this speed is because we put the second engine on here. Without this engine, she dropped down to like 5. It's just... And what could be better than a bridge with another train crossing over you? And there's another one. They're just... That is a lot of food coming in and out of New Orleans. But I mean, come on. New Orleans has to have the Cafe du Monde. I mean, it's such a landmark to the city. The same reason that there's a food plant in St. Louis for the Anheuser-Busch place. And all that food is going to haul out of there. And, when eventually we get up there, we'll put it in refrigerated cars and then, a tanker or tankers. But here we are on the cargo line. And same thing. Cargo stops, sidings, and the express bypass. But that crops train, I mean, she's all the way up here. And trucking. So I mean, I think it's laid out well. I'm sure it could be done better, but it's definitely busy. See, how's this one doing? She's pulling out of here at 71. She's got another stop to go to. Let's see, 71. She'll come up to... Yes, this is a tool factory we're not even touching yet. She's going to come down here to the Gulfport farm. I mean, there's 295 sitting on the docks, so she is not going to take all this cargo. And on this line, the crops coming in. We got 4 trains, 4 trades on here. We got 86 wagons just for crops coming into New Orleans. And then the trains going out. We got 40 boxcars of food going out. It is a busy station, and that's just one good. We're going to have more stuff coming in when we bring the other goods in. And actually, I think there's another farm back here that we haven't gotten to yet. Let's see. We got this one. Yep, all the way back here. 2 of them. Tallahassee Farm and Mobile. We can actually bring that down here easy. Get it down here a little bit. Oh yeah, I put the stub in for it right here. Here's the stub. The problem with bringing these crops in is going to be, it's not going to be this curve or these two. It's just going to be I mean, the amount of deadheading coming back out here to pick these things up is just going to be crazy. And then the other problem is, how many trains are we going to put out here? Are we going to put out 4? Okay, let's put out 4 of these. How much do these things cost? So it's $5 million for these things right now. So we're going to need another 20 million plus the stations and the track just to get them out here. And then, are we finally going to meet all the production demand, at Du Monde to completely fill it up? Here, this one's heading back in. But that's all the freight service and passenger service that's been added over the last 2 days. And yesterday was just a nonstop exercise in trying to make any profit at all. And we finally figured it out and was able to get, a couple lines with some profit going and, get ahead of the curve because, I mean, why did you stop? Oh, yeah, just in case someone crossed over. That should not be there. Have to get rid of that little spur of track. It was probably put there because some train was going the wrong way and had to be fixed, and I forgot to delete it. Yeah, this thing is deciding on the right side for deliveries, but it's obviously giving us a hiccup. I mean, we don't want these things to stop. I mean, them stopping is not helpful to us. Okay, is this guy full? Better be. Yep, 140. So we're stuck here to wait to follow the 140 down into New Orleans. So let's follow it down. I mean, if you have to have that squealing, it's just, you know, that is that freight car struggling to get in. Okay, how much is sitting in the factory right now? 2. So yeah, even with all of this going on, the factory is about to go. There it is. Factory's empty. So we're not going to grow because we're not meeting even the input side. So we need those other 2 farms and those other four trains, which means do we just add those 4 to this line and now it's just one big long circuit that hits 4 farms on the way in from the farthest reaches? Because once we take the hit here, and again, if we could figure out, if we put the passenger service here going north south and we put the freight right on the other side of it, we could take the freight trains coming down here, make a sort of an S bend come down and then turn them into the station here. That would allow them to hit here and then come across town and then turn here to get up and get out. The biggest problem with that is from here to the Cafe du Monde. I don't think we have catchment. Give us a cargo station. 8 tracks, 320. If we put this... See, we don't get catchment. What if it's here? How close? See, we get catchment to the factory over here. So that means somehow... What about here? Well, we don't have... Well, we wouldn't have this stretch of track. I mean, it could be up here. But in terms of tracks, this is 2, 4, 6, 7. And what do we have back here? We have 5. So we're looking at a 12-track station. If we could put a 12-track station in here going, you know, north-south, our problem really would be we'd have to make the loop around the factory. And if we could make the loop going around the factory and ensure that we could get catchment, we could probably do it. I mean, it would require... That is a big gamble, because if we do it, we'd have to tear up pretty much everything along here, including everything here around the factory. And then start putting in the station, get the inputs connected, do this loop. Well, we'd have to do the loop work first, because the loop work is going to tell us how we get out of here. And then there's the other problem. So this is the passenger service, and this would be the cargo service coming down here. You know, we'd pull off of here and, you know, come in down this way. So, I mean, that wouldn't be that hard to do. But then the cargo service is on the, you know, the east side of this line of tracks. So if the cargo service is on the east, and now here's the station, and now we come down here, we go around the factory, the east service goes out and climbs up and gets out of here. The passenger service is going to have to get elevated, or we let it climb out up here, which this is not an easy climb. I mean, we'd be running along the edge of the map here. We could start our turn, come up here to get up this way, and then hook back up. But then, you know, small bridge over here to hook up with the service going that way. We could do it. I'm very sure that we could do it. The question is, if we take that on, we better make sure we have a lot more money in the bank, because you know, building a brand new station for New Orleans is going to be, I mean, it could just, it could end the game as we go bankrupt if we try that. I mean, that would just be, that would be a killer over here. But then we wouldn't have this going on. And the question is, how cool is this? Because, you know, there are people who, you know, have tried using first off, there's people who complain about, why do you need the trains to drive forward or not flip? You know, by the way, see that right there? That's a feature of the new spring update. Those trains are all set to use. This is a full station back here. You know, this is a station. 2 cargo, 2 passenger stops. The trains are allowed to use either stop. And they come in here, they come to a full stop, and then they pull out. over the weekend, I was asked, why don't I move these into the city? We could take, if we leave the stations where they are. When you pull out of here backwards, we could knock all of this out of here, and we could put the Ys. We could put the Ys in here, so that you backed into the heart of New Orleans and then pulled out to go up and out, or go over here and climb out. Instead they're over here in the open. Well, I mean, sometimes switching is done outside of town. Why would you give up precious downtown space, just for a switching yard? But I mean, this isn't the Chicago livestock yard. It's New Orleans. I mean, that's an option. But again, if we do the major, once we have the money for it. But I mean, we're doing good for money right now, and we're continuing to put money back in the bank. But we've been here before. It wasn't that long ago that we had 30 million in the bank. And rather than just sit around waiting for, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like just hitting the spinner and let it take off. Matter of fact, let's slow us back down. We're not following the trains. No need to run them that fast. We got to find some other services to hook up, because we're kind of tapped out up here in here's Brownsville. Here's the quarry. The quarry is currently serviced by 3 trains. Okay, she just pulled out the Aunt Betty just pulled out with 174 of stone. She left 56 on the platform. So yeah, we're not pulling everything out, but here's Uncle Jed, another 178 waiting to pull it out of here. Since we're watching the trains, he's got to make his loop. And this is where the loops actually help us, because Uncle Jed's waiting to take 178. We were at 56. He's got to make it around to be able to pull through the station and head out back to the cement factory, the Brownsville cement factory. And look, that meter, it just keeps ticking up. It's, the loop is helping us. Plus, it's just, again, that is not an 18. That is a very long train in 1870. There you go, 132, 133 it hit. So now Uncle Jed's going to sit here. He's got a little ways to go. Now the question is, how slow? Because he can do 55. He can do 50. The wagons can only do 50. So he can do 50. What's the slowest he's going to do getting out of this quarry? Because I don't know if you noticed, but the quarry is down here. He's still got a bit of a shoulder here to get out of. And look at that, 178. I mean, he didn't wait that long. And already on the platform is another 7. So by the time the last one of Uncle Jed's wagons pulls out of here, so we're watching for his speed. He gets up to 15. So, I mean, it's not 16 because he drops back down. But we're waiting for that last wagon. We're waiting for the caboose to clear the station. Okay, the caboose has cleared the quarry, and there's already 45 waiting for the next train to come back around. And we're waiting for that caboose to get up here on the hill. And there we are. Now we're at 28 already. We're going to make it to 50 before we get to the cement factory. But I mean, we're tapped out here. We just cannot pull any more stone out of that quarry. 49, 50. There you go. Full speed. Pulling 178 stone. Yeah, there's the depot. Over here to our left is Brownsville. You know, we looked at the passenger service over there earlier. And there's the third one heading back. So we've passed the other two. We haven't gotten there yet, and we passed the other two heading back. There's old Rusty for the passenger line. So that single track bridge would be handling Brownsville to Huntsville and Brownsville to Memphis. And the cement factory is fully... Is she fully developed? I think she is. I'm pretty sure she has to be. Yeah, she's fully developed. With a backlog. Now, she is not going to burn through all this before we deliver. She's still going to have something left. But again, that's the beauty of this is a transport game. We can dump everything we want in this factory. You know, it doesn't matter. We're just here to deliver. Now, 178 stone. Let's not lose her. 178 stone. What do you think she's going to make? She's down 678. Look at that 1.6. We're just, and you know, here's the thing with the slow unload speed. We don't actually care. There is no need for a bigger station here, because again, first off, you know, we really can't afford it. You know, it's we just can't. I mean, we're just now back up over 30 million. You know, we can't afford the station, and there's no need for it because we're just gonna make. You know, the other two past us. Uncle Jed's just gonna make it back. One of them will have just pulled out, and they're, you know, he'll pick up his load. He might have to wait a little bit. So why get yourself out of that other station quicker when there's just no need for it? I mean, that's not being, you know, it's not being cheap. It's just, again, it's you know, play it like a transport game. You know, why would you upgrade that station? There's no need. How many are on there? 43 going to Huntsville. Single track bridge. Yeah, we got to find something else to work on. I think at this point we probably. I keep getting tempted to haul oil to the river, crude oil to the river, and then take the crude oil down to the refinery, and then across the river to the fuel refinery. I think that's a safe thing to start hauling. But again, you know, there's that bridge that we should have built, you know, a while ago. There you go. See, this train has been stuck here this whole time, waiting for us to get off the single track. I mean, we have enough money to double track it, but you know, I mean, this siding here is pretty big. It's big enough to handle the freight train, so I just, you know, I made it the same size. Um, but that's the beauty of these sandbox games. You have to be true to yourself. Are you if you give yourself a rule that you're going to play with, the only judge, jury, and executioner is yourself. You know, it's all right. So we're going around Huntsville Lake because that's how we loop. This time it's a loop before we get to the station instead of after. Without the no flipping, we would have just slammed right into that station. We'd be back in Browns. We'd be back in Brownsville by now because we would have double tracked it. Would have been a double track bridge. It's just all right. We got people waiting for us. 265 and 39. So I mean, we could cut this train down. We really could, but the numbers fluctuate, and we really could have taken those 48 people there. I mean, look at that. They're waiting to go to Brownsville. It's that same thing. They pick a train. We are scavenging our own selves. We're our own worst enemy here. And if we're going to do that, then why don't we take this Huntsville Limited and put it up here on the up here with the Nashville. Oh no, that's a Commass train. Where is that? Here's Nashville. Put it up here with the Nashville passenger service. Here she is. Nope, that's Conmats. Oh wait, yeah, we can see it. She's gonna pull out of here. Um, hmm. I don't know why we have two tracks here. Future growth. I mean, yeah, sure, but she does not fit in this station. Look at that. Look at that number. It's just that is just an awesome line to be running. You know, it's just that is just a beautiful number to see. And we're at 33 million. So we're halfway to putting up a bridge and then running the train service up there in Rock Island, Moline to go across. Connecting the two railroads historically that on the first rail bridge. But now you can see she's going to Upper Nashville, and she's going to handle this little bit of work here, no problem. I mean, if you can have her going uphill empty, you know. But then again, why are you running a train empty? I mean, ideal world, but if you have too many ideal worlds where your trains are never empty, where did you give yourself a challenge on your map? That's the same thing with the factories. Yeah, like I said, we'll go back to like moving the iron up north. When the resources were put down, the random generator just boof dumped them everywhere. So there you go. We're holding up a lumber train. No, that's hauling logs to go make tools. Yeah, that's what it is. It's hauling logs to go make tools. Look at that. That is a speed hit. You know, but come on, start moving. Ursh. Yeah, you. This is. It's just. A little bit of downward gravity. This is a horrible run, but we don't care because it's extra money. See, this thing was going to make a left turn back there. And actually, that's the other beauty of this. This was going to have to make a left turn and cross over the track. And instead of crossing over the track, we come out here to the Nashville Sawmill and Woodworks. I mean, we were 30 right there before we started to slow down. So, I mean, still got a bit of a head of speed, steam on it. It's just, it made some time. But here we are. So really, it doesn't matter how slow it takes to get here. But she's going to come over here. And instead of going, you know, a bridge over herself or crossing herself, and as I said, or worse, crossing the passenger line, which we got to fix, we just raked in an extra 600,000. You know, this is not the best deadhead line, you know, at all. It's just, it's something extra. And it's sort of, you know, you challenge yourself to ask the question of, I mean, hey, you built this big train for 203 on a flat car. Do you not have, is there nowhere you could pick some stuff up? You know, yeah, she's going to go faster now. She's empty. You know, who cares? She's empty. But, you know, what, like, did we have, like, if we could find a need for logs back here in Brownsville, you know, or Huntsville, you know, do we have anything around here that could use logs? Damn, I am so stupid. We got a machine factory right here. Well, yeah, but we have a sawmill over here. Do we have a forest around here? Do we have a forest? I do not see one. I do not see a forest around here anywhere. Wow. We could be bringing those logs back. I'd be worried about the speed. I mean, right now we're doing 49. You know, here we are coming up to the path. But you see, we're not crossing over ourselves. Yeah, that's Babe. She's going back to the forest to pick up logs. And she picks up the logs, she drops them off, and then she goes to the tool and die factory, which has its name spelled wrong. There will be lots of typos in this game because I'm the one typing. But there you go. Babe clears the signal up there. We move along. That is like such a small stretch of single track. But it's single track. Makes the junction look interesting. You know, if without that piece there, these things would just fly past each other. You know, they would never meet, never cross. It just eventually, it would just be a completely uninteresting junction. And hey, we're making money. Yeah, this is 11. 11 empty. That's why we're deadheaded all the way instead of bringing back those planks. There's just no way. We're gonna have to find a forest somewhere to feed that sawmill, or we're gonna have to wait until we got something much more powerful. And then here's the problem: once something more powerful comes in, we're gonna switch to 304s. You know, we're not gonna stay at 203s. I mean, you know, you start out at 21, eventually you get to 70, then you got your 84, you know, and then right after that, you know, it's woo, we got a 107, you know, we got a one, you know, now we're, you know, moving, and then it's like, let's slam that line with a 203. You know, we're pulling a lot of stuff here. Yeah, but you know, if you had, why do we have 3 tracks here? Why? Yeah, why do we have 3 tracks here? This is the passenger line. Yeah, this is the passenger line. She comes. This is all single track. She comes down to here. Oh, this is a siding for the other one. Yeah, because these things are just, they're just too big. You know, they're too big and they're too slow. Finally, we're picking up speed because we're falling downhill. But you can see, you know, she's all the way back to here. That is a big siding. I mean, it's getting a little. What are we waiting for? Oh, yeah, we are the siding. This is the siding. I mean, it could have been a little bit shorter, you know, by this distance. But we're waiting for 189 bricks. Doing 13, now 12. Ouch. You know, when we have, again, even when we have way more money, I mean, I've done it where I've double tracked everywhere. You know, there's that mod on the workshop that does auto parallel tracks. First off, I don't know why anybody uses it if you're playing a game on any level of difficulty or challenge. When it puts down the second track, it does it at no cost. I mean, it's you know, if you're not worried about cost, then it's a no-brainer. You know, and if you're sitting here going, hey man, track is cheap. Okay, whatever. You know, if it's so cheap, then why don't you just pay for it? But, you know, it sort of, it discourages you from the challenge of, you know, single track. Ugh. This is just Nashville Dancer, yeah. Yeah, we can just see the dancing. Well, that's what I got to figure out what's next to work on is what's the next piece. And I'm currently leaning towards, I mean, we got to start work on St. Louis because we've been focusing all our time on New Orleans. We got to give a little bit of love and attention to St. Louis. And then we've got that bridge just north of St. Louis or just south of Bloomington, Minneapolis, St. Paul. You know, that'll connect. I, I mean, I'd be very tempted to run a. It'd be very tempting to run a train from Bloomington or Minneapolis down to St. Louis, but there's already a ferry that goes that way. So, I mean, I don't want to do anything that reduces the chances of us running ferry traffic, either cargo or ship. So I want to make sure that, you know, we. By the way, for anybody looking at this, you're driving on the wrong side. No, we're not. We're just single track. And once electrification comes in, you know, the track on the right will become high speed and electrified. Like this should not be here. That needs to be rebuilt. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but we haven't really moved past the 30 million number. Whatever's going on somewhere, we're just getting hit with a bunch of costs, and you know we're not picking up and out of the 30, or we're not moving into the mid 30s, let alone the high 30s. That's a feature of these restaurants. You sit there and you get to count the trains as it goes by. And then you get to be all excited at the end because, yes, it does have a caboose. Because it's a freight train. Okay, there we go, 34. What are we waiting for now? Oh, Matt's going to Huntsville. Yeah, there you go. It's a 140. See, all of these are, slightly different. As, the demand comes in, or, this one left the station and, there were, a load left. It got just enough. It's, I have a picture on Reddit of the 60,000 size map. 60,000 population is 60,000, and in the picture, it's 9 of the exact same train in the train station. And after I posted it, because I was excited that it had hit 60,000, I was a little surprised how boring it was. It's just all the same thing. There was no variety to it, and that's sort of the danger of, hey, the new so and so is out. Let's upgrade the entire fleet in one click. It takes away the color and character of things. Look at that, 37. We sat all that time, and then now, we complain about it, and suddenly we're in the high 30s. We still have a long way to go to get to 70, 75. And then again, once we build the bridge, we're broke. It's just, and that line going across that river better make money, because otherwise it'll be costing us quite a bit. There is no ferry at Rock Island Moline going down to St. Louis. So, running the train across the river between, west of the Mississippi and then coming east to Rock Island and Moline is one thing. But I'm not sure. I mean, we could run a ferry. We could run a ferry up to where the bridge is, and then we run bus service up to Davenport there. I was going to say this. We were at 38 there for a second. All right, how long are we in the station? Not even a second. But look at that. That's, yeah, we're a huge hit on loading. Are we not going to fill? Come on. Oh, there it is. Are we gonna make it? Or are we gonna get kicked out of the station before? 2. Oh, come on, one more. Come on. Full load. There we go. Yeah, these things should sit here. They should sit here until they're loaded. If you design the station for them. 153. This thing just made another good chunk of change. She's heading out. This was our first 2 stations. Picking up at the quarry and dropping off here. We just ran that, and that's how everything else has been built from there. I guess we need a few more trucks. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could put a building on here, obviously, but, you know. All right. Let's call it. What's the next thing going to be? If we start the oil coming to the river, we bring the oil to Opelousas. 25 people. And then we ferry it upriver to here. And then we ferry it across to here. That gives us some good cross-river traffic there. The problem is going to be the cost of this. You know, getting all this oil from, you know, Tulsa down here to Beaumont. The first city in Texas when you cross from east to west. So we come from Tulsa. This is pretty flat. Oh, no, it's not. it's flat from up above. So now we come from Tulsa down here and we go past Beaumont. And I guess we go through this. How are we going through this? That, let's see. I mean, we can come across here, give ourselves a little bit of height, aqueduct it, get across here. Now we're up here. Are we crossing up here and coming back down? But oh, and because we got to pick up this one too, and this one. So I mean, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 5 oil wells to pull from. So we pull from 5 oil wells. We give ourselves a nice, healthy port here. And then we haul all the crude oil up. I mean, that will just look amazing. But getting across that is going to be a barrier. Especially if we could just snake it on down. Because we're going to have to deliver product to Beaumont anyway. So we need to get Beaumont set up for cargo deliveries to here and then set it up for passenger service from Opelousas. I mean, we can't just leave Beaumont out here isolated. Or wait for roads, you know. 159, 152. Yeah, 152, and she's got service connecting her to New Orleans. Yeah, but she's not getting any goods. Just getting passengers. So I would say we put in a really nice marine terminal here. We figure out how to get all this oil down to here. Like I said, we got 5 oil wells to figure out. I mean, it's not a matter of running one and getting it started. It's a matter of we got to figure out how to get all 5 of them going, because we can do it as a big loop. You know, they get down here, the oil trains come in, they hit the station, they do a big unloading. It's in storage waiting for the ships, and then they just sail on out of here. Well, however they're going to get over this. You know, I mean, they, you know, come up here, come into this. You know, that give them a chance to. Well, again, they're going back empty. Well, yes, they are. But then when they get to here, they will be mostly full. Oh. So we need a. Is there something here to go through? Come through this. Come through this, bend around, get up here. I don't know. That is going to be interesting. But that's a whole thing by itself. We've done a lot over here. We gotta give this either we're going for all six goods right away, and then neglecting the rest of the map, which I don't want to do. I think that's going to discourage us from doing other stuff elsewhere. You know, we want to raise the water level slowly across the whole map. All right, so then eventually we get up to here with a cargo terminal port, and then we run it across the river. And then from here we set up, in Natchez, we set up our fuel delivery system. Both you know, down to New Orleans, and then yeah, we could bring it down to New Orleans and feed it from. See, we don't get catchment. Oh, we do. That's right. That's why there's. That's right. That's the other issue. The cargo station has catchment to the river. That's not the cargo station. The cargo station's up here. God damn it. We can bring this back. If we bring it back and put it to here, we'd have to destroy all of the French Quarter just to bring those trains back around here in this S across the factory, and then put the terminal in here. And that is quite an ask. There's 270. Yeah, there's. Yeah, I don't think we can do that. I mean, that's a challenge. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's why I put it over here in the 9th Ward. I put it over here in the 9th Ward because the station here had catchment to where the dock was going to go here, which would allow us to then have a train grab cargo and head out for delivery. Huh. I mean, we can always put the 9th Ward station back, and then somehow get across to there. I mean, yeah, that could be really messy. Well, you know, the whole rezoning thing here, redoing the stations, that might make it easier. Yes, but when you move this to here, we lose catch. Like I said, we can set up a new bus station. That's not the worst thing to set up. But how do we get catchment from the port? I think it's just the 9th Ward station. This becomes the station for Cafe du Monde, which is what it's doing right now. And then food going out to the area. And then other goods come in here. And then we just have, you know, the trains for the other 5 goods that deliver out across the map. It's not one big unified mega station. No. Or again, we could tear up this main street right here and bring the trains in. Dead them in. Then we're deadheading them again. It's just, there's no getting around that. Okay. St. Louis. This map is so big, it's not even funny sometimes. Okay, St. Louis. We've got Rolla. We've got a chemical plant. We've got a forest. We've got Columbia. Kansas City. We've got, oh, look at that. That is Not a bad option. Is that two of them? That is two quarries. That is two quarries here. Well, we know one, will produce a ton of bricks because it's a 1-to-1 ratio. But yeah, we could, and there's a sawmill. So we could be doing something with the quarry to the conmats, the concrete plant, construction materials. And then we could be doing something with the wood going to the sawmill. And then we have a machines plant up here. Wow, there's a lot we could be doing over here around Des Moines. And then we're building this bridge up here. We've got a long run from here up to the Rochester sawmill that we could work on. And there's a conmats plant here. Do we have any stone up here? If we don't, we could pull from that second. That quarry's way over there. We could pull from this second quarry outside Des Moines. So if we do the short one to here and use this to feed the St. Louis area, we could take this longer run with this one and haul. Oh, that is a long run. Do we throw it on a ferry here and let it just ride the ferry up? How close is the plant to the water on the other end? Oh wow, this is a long. Yeah, this is a huge run. Where is that plant? I was just looking at it. Where is that? I thought there was a construction materials plant up here. There's a factory. Was I looking at the city? Okay, well, that's on me. There's the forest feeding the sawmill. Here's the second quarry. Man, I thought there was a construction material plant up here. Well, there's definitely there's tools. There's no. Oh, they're way back up here. They're way back up here in Wisconsin, up by Wausau, and we've done nothing around Chicago. We've got all of this to work with in Chicago and the all of that, and we've not touched any of that yet. I guess we just got to start picking some stuff. It's a picking area. Okay, that's refinery, food, forest. So many choices. We'll have to figure out which one to work on, and we'll do that next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day, and again, thank you so much for the conversation. I appreciate it. Oh, and we're at 41.3, so we are well on our way to, and now we're down below 40. Let's call it 40 mil. We're at 40 mil. We're on our way to buying that bridge.